Okay, so how would you describe or talk about your support system as like family, friends, coworkers, bosses?
My number one supporters are definitely my mom and my two cousins.
Okay, and what do they do to support you?
My mom helps me financially whenever I need it. I hate taking money from people, but sometimes I have to because I cannot provide for my daughter. But I always make sure to pay her back, as I never want that cloud hanging over my head. And then my cousins are there for emotional support. They're the ones who helped me through my divorce. They're the ones who helped me realize that I need to do better for myself, that I can do better for myself.
Okay. Is there any organizations that you attend? Anything religious, culturalist?
Yeah, I attend a church that is right down the street from my house.
Okay, and who attends there?
Well, every Sunday we go, me and my daughter Christine, we go with our elderly neighbors because that is also the church that they attend. And then another supporter I have in my life is definitely my minister. He helped me through a lot. He's the one who he made me trust him, and I trust him with my life. I trust him with my daughter's life. He has helped me through so much just by being there and able to listen to what I'm saying and what I need to talk about.
Okay, and what kind of things would he do to make sure that he talks to you, you talk to him? What do you achieve from him as a support system?
He's always a positive person. He always points out the positives. He makes me realize that there is a brighter side to every situation, and I just need to look for it.
Okay, and talking about your environment, how would you describe your environment? So it's saying, is it safe, open space? So talking about your apartment, the living factors like walking, busing, your access to abilities.
I live in a very safe neighborhood, so I have no problem with taking my daughter out for walks or if we have to walk somewhere when it's dark out. I have no problem with that because I know that we'll be safe. My apartment building is really close to the downtown core of Georgetown, so it's in walking distance of a lot of necessities that we need, like supermarkets, clothing stores, things like that.
Okay, so just touching upon oppression, discrimination, privilege. We can do this little activity together where we would name out privileges that you might have and then non-privileges that you might face or have. So we can just go over it and talk about it and just really see what you have and what we don't have, so we can get through it and make sure that you get all the necessities.
Okay, so privileges. I would have to say, the privilege to work. There's some women in some countries that aren't legally allowed to work and to bring in income. So the privilege to work for sure, because now that I'm financially alone, I need to provide for my daughter, and I can only do that if I'm working.
Okay. Is there anything else? Shelter, support systems, food?
Yeah, my church is definitely a privilege to be a part of that. My support system, so my family, my cousins, my mom, my neighbors, my minister, my friends, they're definitely a privilege to have in my life.
Okay. Talking about church, what would you describe yourself when talking about religion, religious person?
I'm a practicing Catholic, so I'm not like I don't live my life around the Bible, but I also practice prayer, I practice faith. My daughter and I, we make sure that we always pray before we eat. We make sure that we pray before we go to bed. Like that sort of thing, but I don't live my day-to-day life by the Bible.
Okay. And have you ever experienced any oppression with like racism, sexism? Just so we get a better idea.
I would maybe say racism.
Okay.
A little bit because the town I live in is becoming very multicultural. And so I'm starting to feel like out of place. And I feel like I'm judged because I'm not, like I'm a white Caucasian woman. Like they're seen as like, they're wealthy, they are married, they have families, they own a house, they do well for themselves with their husbands or wives, whichever. But that's not me. I live in a apartment that can only fit me and my daughter. I have to work because I don't have money. I don't own a car. I'm not married.
Okay. So I see that you work hard for your money. You don't depend on others, and if you do, you always make sure you pay them back. Since at your support group, it's always there for you. Okay, we're just going to do a little activity called an ecogram. Okay. Okay, so what we're going to do is that we're going to put your name in the middle. We're going to do a bubble. Okay, so you're going to write down positive and negative subtitles such as like community, churches, family members. You could do like organizations or institutions that you've been associated with, church, and anyone related to like work. So, is there any positive influences in your life? Just give me one example.
My daughter.
Okay, so you could write daughter, and then you would write a line, and then do arrows facing your daughter, so it shows that it's like a positive energy. And then something that would be negative, you would do the other way. So I'm just going to give you like 5 minutes. If you have any questions, let me know.
Okay.
And then we can go over it and just talk about the negative and positive. Okay, so just going over, we can start from your daughter. So it says that it's a positive influence. So why is she a positive influence? And what does she do that's positive?
She is the reason that I keep on pushing and try to keep doing better for myself so I can provide better for her.
Okay. What about friends? So it says positive.
Yeah, my friends have also helped me through a lot. They have been there when I need to talk, when I need to get together with someone, to get my mind off of things.
Okay, so going to depression, you said arrows say that's negative.
Yeah, my depression has definitely affected me. I was only diagnosed with mild depression, but it definitely affected me because it makes it harder for me to go on with my day, from my day-to-day life. But I only do it for my daughter.
Okay, and do you feel that work causes your depression or affects it slightly?
Definitely, for sure. It increases it for sure.
Okay. I see that you struggle with depression, but your daughter and your support system lift you up when needed.
Yeah.
Okay, so it says food bank, positive and negative.
Yeah, so my daughter and I were a part of a food bank when I had first left her father. It was a positive experience because it's what helped me and her get through. But it was also a negative experience because I always wanted to provide for her myself. I never wanted to have to depend on anyone.
Okay, so we have church, positive?
Mm-hmm.
So when would you go to church and what would you do that it would be a positive?
We would go to church every Sunday at 11 a.m. And after church would finish, we would stay late and talk to my minister, and he would just help us through whatever we needed help through. He would just be there for an ear to listen.
Okay, what about women's shelter, positive and negative?
Again, like the food bank, because I helped my daughter and I get through, but it was also like I never wanted to stoop that low in my life. I always wanted to provide more for her and be better for her.
Okay. Abusive relationships, negative.
So, like I said, I've been in 3 abusive relationships, and it took a toll on me. It makes me feel like I don't know what I'm capable of having in my life. It makes me feel like I don't deserve anyone better than those kind of guys.
And do you think being in an abusive relationship has made you stronger or weaker?
In the beginning, it definitely made me weaker because it made me feel like I needed those type of guys in my life to get through. But in the end, after my third abusive relationship, it definitely made me stronger because it made me realize that I don't need this. I do deserve better. My daughter deserves better.
Okay, and then we have boss is positive,
Negative.
negative?
Yeah, sorry.
Okay. Okay. And how is your boss negative?
I feel like because I'm a girl, he likes to pick on me in a way, if that's what you want to call it. He'll sometimes give me the easy jobs because I'm a girl, or he'll talk to me rudely because I'm a girl and he thinks I'm not going to say anything back, which is true. Like, I'm scared to say anything because I need the job.
So do you feel a bit discriminated?
Yeah.
In that when talking about feminism, it's one of those things that you're being oppressed by. It's like one of those things where you're facing oppression in the workplace.
Yeah.
And then we have father negative?
Yeah, my father was definitely a mean person to me. He is part of the reason that I feel like I don't deserve better. He always told me that I didn't deserve better, that I was always going to end up like someone like my father. And I did. Since I was 17 up until I was 30, I had dated guys like my father.
Okay, so that's it for the ecogram. So 1 out of 10, how did it help you? So 1 being not at all and 10 being very helpful.
It was definitely an 8 for sure. It helped me a lot with realizing like the positives and negatives in my life. It helped me realize that my life doesn't necessarily suck. Like I do have good things about my life.
So is that something you would want to see in the future? Maybe a couple sessions from now we would do it again and go over, see if any of those changes are positive.
Yeah.
Okay. And is there any risk and protection factors that face you or your job or your child?
A couple risk things is that I feel like I'm not going to be able to provide for my daughter when she gets older, when she wants to go and do different things and buy different things and keep up with her friends and all the new trends and everything. I am scared that she is going to develop my depression. I am scared that she is going to fall into alcoholism because her father and her grandfather were both addicts to alcohol.
Okay, well, you coming out today shows that you want to get help, that because you might have depression, you also want to give your daughter the best life that you can. And talking about past traumas can help you overcome yourself. And when were you diagnosed with depression?
At age 28.
Okay, and have you seen anyone, medicine?
Yeah, I went to my family doctor about it, and they wanted to start me on these pills. I can't remember the name of them, and I agreed to it, but so I took them for a couple months, and it just, when I would take the pills, they would make me feel like yeah, it would help with my depression, but like I felt like I wasn't me in a way. Like I felt like I wasn't in my state of mind. The pills were making me think a different way and act a different way.
Okay.
So.
And why do you think your mom referred you today? What is the major concern?
My daughter, she knows that she wasn't the greatest mother to me growing up. She's great now, but she knows when I was growing up, she wasn't the greatest mother, so she wants me to be better for my daughter.
Okay. Is there any challenges you face from either outside work, in the community?
My income is a little, like I'm able to afford the basic necessities, but I'm not able to give my daughter anything other than her basic everyday needs. So that's a challenge that I face every day. I feel like I'm not a good enough mother.
I sense that you put yourself down a lot when talking about work, the community. There's a lot of support system that is available. If in the near future you would want to set up another session, today was more debriefing the problem and getting a better understanding of why you're here. I can definitely set up some referral phone calls. There's stuff with like income, people that can help you save money, or anything that if your depression was getting worse, someone to talk about. If that's something you're interested, then we can definitely move forward and get into more detail in how we can help you and how you can make a better living for yourself that you don't see now in yourself.
Okay.
Is that something you're interested in?
Yep.
Yeah? Okay,
Yeah.
so did you want to just set up a time now, or did you want to go home and think about it and give me a phone call?
We can set up something now.
Okay, so what is your work schedule like?
Monday to Friday, 9 or 7 to 3, and then sometimes I stay late, but not usually.
Okay, so and does your daughter have a support system for daycare after school? Like after school, does she come home?
Yeah, she walks home with another kid that lives in our building that goes to the same school as her, just a year older. So she has a way to and from school
Okay.
that I know I can trust. And then if I am not home before she gets home, like my neighbors always take her in. She just stays at their house, plays cards with them, makes dinner, hangs out.
Okay, so what day is good for you? So I have Tuesday and Wednesday all booked up next week. So I'm up.
So maybe Thursday.
Okay. And what time are you available from?
Anytime after 4.
Okay. Did you want to do 4:30 so you have time to either take the bus, walk?
4:30 is good.
Okay. So we have that set up. Is there anything else that you wanted to talk about, bring to my attention?
I don't think so. I think I'm good right now. But if I have any questions, I'll write them down and make sure to bring them to the next session.
So you're the client. I want to make sure that everything is talked about. So maybe we can just go over how you're feeling, how you felt at the start of the session, and kind of debriefing how you're feeling now, just so I get a better understanding of where you were and where you are now.
Okay. I definitely am a lot more comfortable than I was at the beginning of the session.
Okay. And comfortable in which kind of way?
I'm comfortable with talking to you. I feel like I trust you with what I'm telling you.
Okay. And have you ever seen another social worker? Am I the first one you've talked to?
You're the first one.
Okay, so I thank you for opening up to me. We really debriefed and talked about why you were here, the concern, what we can do in the near future, the referrals. Okay, sorry, I'm just writing down a little notes. Okay, so I'm just going to get you to fill out a feedback form. So it's just questions to say, asking you about the session, if we covered everything, how you felt at the start, at the end, if we covered confidentiality basics. So I'm just going to give you a couple minutes to do that.
Okay. Okay, I think I'm done.
Okay, so then.
Oh, hold on, there's a backside.
Okay. Okay, so before we just end up, I just wanted to talk about ways that you would relieve stress.
Okay.
So if anything was on your mind or you were upset, how would you relieve stress? How would you cope with it? Just so next time we can talk about the coping skills that you use and if they worked.
I don't really cope with stress that well. When I am very stressed and very overwhelmed, I tend to just shut down. I just want to lay in bed. I just want to forget what I have to do. But then if I do that, that just makes me more stressed when I get out of bed because it's like, well, now I have less time to finish the exact same thing I had to do before.
Okay, so a lot of people cope with stress. They go on walks, they listen to music, they bake, they do things to take their mind off stress. So if you just want to think about it, next time you're stressed, maybe go for a walk, take fresh air, and then just see if that works better. And then next session, we can just talk about the ways that you worked with stress and if you overcame it and what you would do, okay?
Okay.
Okay, so it was very nice meeting you.
It was nice to meet you too.
Okay.
Thank you.
You're
and
welcome.
I will see you next Thursday
Okay.
at 4:30.
Okay.
Thank you.